Welcome back everyone, and this will be part 8 where we discuss input buffer and things related to it. However, before we go there, there is one thing we did in the last video that we should revert back. If we go to the protector data asset, we did add the state.attack here. Just make sure this is removed in case you did that part. And now let's do the regular input buffers. So going back to test again, if you click double mouse click right now after equipping, you'll only attack once. And that's exactly the animation we have. The second animation will be this one, which will rotate in the other direction. Now, this will go from left to right, and this one will be from right to left. Now, input buffer in general is something you can add, at least in TCF example, would be, or in the samples we worked on, most of it was based on animation and not just inputs. So for that one, we have a notify called buffer inputs. You can put this anywhere you want, between any beginning and end, and there is three types of buffers to look out for. The first one is the highest priority input, which is the default. What this means, if you have multiple inputs, say for example attack here, you have shift here, and then you have maybe space here. The highest priority will be the one with the highest importance, basically. So number 0 will be more important than 1, and 1 will be more important than 2. I'll demonstrate in a little bit, but just bear with me for now. Instant input buffer, sorry, highest priority input runs at the very end of the notify. So if you start from here and you do all your clicks here multiple times or whatever, it will only run once it reaches the last point. The same thing is applied for last registered. Now the difference between last registered and highest priority, last registered doesn't care about the order of importance. So if you click, say for example left mouse button here, and then you have spacebar here, but you click spacebar at the end, it will run the spacebar. It will not run the left mouse button. However, in the case of highest priority, since you clicked the left mouse button, which was here, it will only run the left mouse button even if you press something else after it. Last registered and highest priority will both run at the very end. However, in the case of instant, the moment you click an input is the moment it will fire. It doesn't matter if it's an order doesn't matter here. What happened before what, and any time you click any of those inputs, it will instantly try to fire. There's another class to look out for, which is another variable to look out for, which is the buffer class. Now here is something to keep in mind. Multiple inputs is something that will accept multiple inputs and try to fire all of them. When I say try to fire, there's a chance it might fail. So for example, you click left mouse button and for whatever reason it can't fail. I'll show you with an example in a little bit. Single will try to run one input only, and say you have a 3 here, all of them can be buffered. The moment you click one of them, it will cancel the rest. It doesn't matter, it's only one input. Alt single, same thing. However, it can take inputs triggered before this point. This is a very niche use. Most of you will not need that. I know most of you will be stuck with multiple, so I keep this as a default. Alt multiple, the same thing. However, for more than one input, not just one. So we'll stick with multiple, and this will be the case for most of the things we're using. It will be, let's do instant for now, and let me delete the other inputs so I can demonstrate for you how things work. Attacking and the input buffer special property, and this is where I say something might fail and it might not fail. Now, the buffer property is instance tier, the same way we dealt with the movement, the in-combat movement speed. So if you add a variable somewhere, if you pick one of them, you can modify its variables. Let's take, for example, play animation buffer. And this time, I don't want to play the second montage. I want to play the buff montage we use in the special attack. So that means if I click attack and I set to instant, it will play a montage that I specify here. Say for example this one. Let's take this one and add it there. Property tag, you might not need that. You can skip this part. So right now, if I go attack, and while this buffer is active, I click attack again, it will run this montage immediately. Let's try. Attack and attack. You see that? It stopped from the first animation and went directly to the second part. However, what if I wanna run the second montage? You can specify this here. It will do the same thing. Equip, attack again. See that? The moment I click the second one, it will instantly try to fire it. Now, the thing is, you have to be careful with this one. The reason being, if you check your state, well, you will be in attacking and it's actually correct. However, if you wanna chain things down, like for example, you see how I showed here that using this one, you can chain a different type of things. Now, my state, watch my state. It says I'm a light attack while I'm doing the special one. In that case, just a note for you guys. If you wanna change, for example, if you wanna chain light attacks, you can either do it this way, like add the index itself in the first montage and keep running this one, or try to use something else like try performability of gameplay tag, for example. Now the special one, we named it special, right? The special gameplay ability. Sorry, the special ability. We have it called the special attack. Let's double check. Special attack ability. It's in the plugins folder. And it's named this way. So what this will try to do is try perform. And when I say try perform, that means it can fail. So in this case, we are sure it will actually fail because if you check the conditions, one of the conditions was special attack being triggered, but not being buffered. So what I mean by this is if you try to attack and attack again, nothing happens. Now the reason being is this is failing. Attack, attack again, see? Now when I click again, it will check the thing. This is false, so therefore it will return false, so it will never run. You have to be careful here. There's another node we can use. Get current processing input. Processing input will essentially do is whatever input is trying to process in the input buffer, it will check if that input is equal to something you wanna assign. So for example, in our case, we're trying to buffer attack, so attack itself will be the one we want in this case, and not the special. The special only runs if it's triggered, which is something done by, shift and left mouse. So in our scenario, it's either that being pressed, or you're trying to buffer attack input. You can add other conditions if you need any other things, but just imagine with me the amount of possibilities you can do here. So if you try to attack and press it again, see that? Now if you check my state, it's in special attack right now. And that's exactly what we need. However, this is only a demonstration, so I don't need this for now. I'll just keep this the way it is. The other point I wanna expand upon is the buffer special property itself. Now it's using something called try performability of gameplay tag, and I did mention that this can potentially fail. So what I mean by failing, if you go to plugins itself, try performability of gameplay tag. Buffer property, here we go. If you go to browse, you see three types. Play animation buffer, the one we tried a while ago. And we have stop animation. You can stop it if you want to. And try perform, there's a function called get can process property. You can find it on the rest. You can override it if you want. By default, it will be true. However, if there are inputs that you're trying to process, for example, in the case of multiple, you have attack, you have spacebar, and you have something else, it will try to do them based on the order you did. In our example, it's instant, so it doesn't matter, but it will be more visible when it comes to highest priority input. So if you have multiples, in that case, and try to run index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, whichever succeeds, it will be the one it stops on. If 0 succeeds, 1 will not try to run. If 0 fails, it will try to run 1. That's the point of multiple being mixed with some type of condition to run. something like this. Now, if you don't want only those, feel free to add as many as you like. So I'll take this for example, I can duplicate it, call it perform state of a class or whatever class or ability or anything you want. So open that up, add a condition if there is a condition to be made, and adjust everything you want to adjust. This will tell you the input you're trying to buffer, and this will give you the owner, which in this case will be the player character. And this is what we have to show for for the input buffer. Aside of this, we can also show the highest and the last suggested. So for example, in our scenario, we're trying to do the special attack. Let's add another thing, which was the second attack we're trying to perform, which was which one? Which one? Ah, this one. So this one, rather than relying on uh, the way we set up right now is based on attack. Let's do this as special attack, and let's add attacking here, and to run the animation. So here we have it. Let me change this to play animation buffer, because remember when we removed the input here, since it's removed it will always fail, so it doesn't matter. Let's pick the buff montage to be the one we run on special attack without any conditions and without any change in the abilities. I just want to demonstrate for you what happens when you change between highest priority and last suggested input. Remember, since we are in multiple, it will try to perform all of them. So if there is something that has a condition and it fails, it will ignore it and move to the next. So in our scenario, we don't have anything like that, so we're gonna be stuck with special attack running the buff montage and the attack running this montage. Since we are in highest priority, special attacks takes priority over attack, even if you click it before or after a certain scenario. In my room, I'm gonna give myself more room here, and I'm gonna I'm gonna do the regular attack ability, and while the buffer is active, I'll do attack first and then special attack, and in my second try I'll flip this. So attack, attack, special attack, see which one runs? The buff. The last one I did was the special attack, and it's also the highest priority. How about I flip this right now? I do attack, special, and then attack. So attack, special, and then attack. Notice what happened? I just did the special one, even though I did this one before this one, but it's because it's highest priority. However, if I make this last suggested, the order doesn't matter. So attack, special, and then attack. See what happens now? Attack, special, attack. I did the regular attack. It's because it was the last one I actually tried to perform. So that concludes the what do you call it? The input buffer notify. In the next video, let's continue with the light attack, because we completely ignored depending on the light attack ability in this case. And from there, we'll also discuss how to have more useful things in the attack itself. So see you guys in the next video.